PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of Thinking into Results is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
I guess you can be very successful without one, and probably some people do. But I would not have accomplished anywhere near what I have accomplished without a mentor. I have had a number of mentors, and my whole life has changed dramatically. I went from going nowhere to having a business that operates all over the world. If you want to win in a big way, you want to get a mentor. It's almost like getting a direct pipeline from their mind to your mind, where you're gaining all their wisdom, all their experience, and all the studying that they've done over a number of years. And like that, you get it all in a short period of time. Are mentors important? Well, I'm going to tell you, mentors literally changed the course of my life. Let's take a look at what Thinking into Results is and what it could do for you, how it came about. You see, my life had changed dramatically. I went from earning nothing to earning over $1 million a year. And I was sitting one day and I was thinking, how did all this happen? Do you know, I was reading Think and Grow Rich. I was studying Earl Nightingale's material. But a lot of people have read those books and studied Earl's material. And they weren't accomplishing what I was accomplishing. So I had to ask myself, what am I doing so different? You see, I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you've got to be really smart. I was earning over $1 million a year, and I didn't think I was that bright. I was also raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't win. Well, I hadn't gone to school. I went to high school for about 2 months. I didn't have a good job. I owned the entire company. If you want to be happy, healthy, and prosperous, it's all here. Thinking into Results is going to show you how to get it. If what I've said really triggered something in your mind and you're thinking maybe, contact the certified PGI consultant, hit the button, leave the information, do yourself a favor, sit down and talk to them about what this program can do for you. This very well could be the decision that will change the rest of your life.
Well, thank you, Bob. Well, my name is John, and my partner in crime, Sid, he's taking the day off. He's spending some time with family, which I think is wonderful. So I do want to address a few things that happened last week that I didn't realize happened. But first of all, I just want to mention that, you know, this program is Thinking into Results presented by S&J Mentoring, where we show you how to accomplish your dreams. Last week, because this is a live show. Last week we got some comments. I missed them because I didn't understand how to bring them on so I could see them. So I want to apologize to the person that posted those comments because, you know, I would have liked to have addressed them last week. I'm going to address them this week, and hopefully that person is watching. So please accept my sincerest apologies. But the question was asked, and then I'll get to the program. But the question that was asked was if Sid or I had a degree in human behavioral sciences. And the answer to that question is no. We do not have degrees in behavioral sciences. As a matter of fact, I don't believe either one of us have a degree in an actual, you know, college certified degree. But understanding human behavior is something that I have aspired to learn, because I like to have the ability to understand the people I'm speaking with and be able to help them. I like to understand how you're thinking. I like to understand where you're sitting, because everybody has a unique situation and everybody has a unique solution. And the only way that's going to happen is to be able to learn about them. And as you learn about people, you learn about generalities, you learn about many different things that allow you to understand how somebody may be thinking, somebody may be feeling, so that you can be compassionate towards that person and help them understand the directions that they need to go so that they can accomplish their dreams, so that they can become a better person, so that they understand maybe what's happening internally to them. And in my opinion, that doesn't require a degree to do. That requires compassion, that requires being quiet and listening to what somebody has to say, and sincerely listening to what they have to say. Now, what does listening mean? Okay, I'm going to be 60 here soon. So it's taken me a while to understand what listening really means, okay? Because I used to think that I just would have to talk over people and kind of just verbally get everything out in order to get my point across. It doesn't work that way. I get my point across much better by listening to what the other person has to say. And listening requires not just listening to what they're saying and keeping it in context, but watching their body language, listening to their voice fluctuations. These are all things that help you understand maybe how severely this person is hurting over a situation, which gives you the ability to go, okay, they're hurting a lot more over the situation, I think, than they even realize. Let's help them. Now, do I have a degree? Can I prescribe medication? Absolutely not. But I'm here to help you understand what you're thinking and how you want to go, and how to change how you think, not how I think, and help you accomplish this. See, I'm using the term you because I cannot. It is absolutely impossible for another human being to change who you are without using other means of manipulation. Now, manipulating, that's one thing. But changing you, that's you. It has to start here. And the name of this episode is Be Still and Know That You Can. And that's a trick in itself, right? I mean, I live in an apartment complex currently. I'm moving here soon, so I'm looking forward to moving into a house of my own. That'll be nice. But how do you get quiet? How do you be still? How do you get some of these things out of your head in today's society? Well, I could go and pull up all the reading that I've done and give you all the philosophies that other people have, or I can just tell you what I had to do to quiet my own mind and let things evolve. just trying to look. I was thinking of the proper word. Evolve would be a proper word, because I had to choose to become a better person. Every time I think of that, I think of what was the name of the movie that David Carvey was in, that where they changed their name, where they changed people and they became different people, and he become a different person, and he would start changing, and that's kind of how this works, just not necessarily in that comedic fashion. But I had to stop. And there was times I would have to go to a park and roll up a window and shut everything off so it got quiet. And then just close my eyes and start emptying my thoughts. And this takes time. You can't just do it right away, because most people we're so used to thinking about everything. It's hard to silence what's in here, because being still and being quiet is being quiet inside your head, not necessarily quiet with what's going around you, although it helps. But you can get creative, and I had to get creative. I had to, when I first decided that I was going to become a better person and start accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish, I knew that getting quiet and kind of emptying your mind was something that had to happen in order for me to get the ideas or get the thoughts or get the things I needed. Because we talk a lot on this program about, belief and faith in how that leads to your goals. And you have to get to that point where you have the faith and the belief, not just doing your affirmations every day and reading it off and saying, this is what I want to accomplish. And eventually you do start believing that. But you also have to quiet your mind and just go, I can do this. I can do this. And then what do I need to do? And then just be quiet. You calm down, you get silent, you just kind of let the universe take over. And it is a technique that takes a while, but once you learn how to quiet your mind and allow the universe to just listen to what you want, so that it can bring it to you, so that you get in alignment with what you're trying to accomplish, that is the trick. And I flip through Facebook Reels and I flip through TikTok once in a while, because I'm curious as to what people say. Well, if you're going to manifest, this is what you need to do. Well, okay, they're partially right. But what they don't tell you is you can't just do it once and it happen. It won't. In order to manifest something or accomplish your goals, which is manifestation, because you're bringing yourself into alignment with something that you've never done before, and you want that growth, and you have to grow in order for this to happen. And that takes allowing your brain to process that. It allows us, you have to allow the subconscious to absorb your new path. It has to become real. That's part of the reason for the affirmations, because you're repetitively telling your subconscious, this is my new reality, and this is what I expect you to do. So it's what we have control over. And honestly, sometimes we don't get it right, but that's okay because you're going to keep practicing it and you're going to keep doing it. I know that when I started, I know I've talked about myself a lot, but it's the only reference point I've really got. I can't talk about somebody else. I can tell you what I think, and what I've seen, but I can't tell you the whole process they went through unless we sit down and have a discussion. But last week we talked about where I've come, because I would have never thought that I would be buying a house 3 years ago. And that's been a lot of telling myself, you can. Because if you think you can, you can. I know we say this all the time. And if you think you can't, you can't. And that's true because the gatekeeper, your conscious mind, is what filters into your subconscious mind. And a lot of times, I know a lot of these people that say, don't even joke about yourself in a bad way, because your subconscious mind doesn't understand that. And that was something, because I'm a big guy. So I always make the big guy joke, and it's always a little downgrading. I don't do that any longer because I know the harm that it can cause to the work I've done, improving who I am. Pardon me. Sorry about that. But the way I got to this, the way I got to where I think the way I do, is I literally would have to start, and I still do this a couple of times a day, because you can't just do it once. Just like affirmations, you have to read them a couple of times a day, and you have to start saying them over and over again. And that requires the ability to sit down and clear your mind. Because you can't be thinking about other things. Because as you're inputting, I'm going to use a computer as a reference. That's what I've got for reference, I think. When you're inputting into a computer, you can only input one line at a time. If you input more than that, it causes confusion. And then the computer is trying to decide what portion of this are they supposed to use. So, do I use this portion of it? Do I use this portion of it? Do I use a mixture of this? And our brain functions very similar. At least mine does. I can't speak for yours, and I don't want to speak for yours, but I know that my brain works that way. I have to literally filter out everything and input one thing at a time, because it is much more productive for me to do that. It's productive for myself, and it's productive for my family. And ultimately, those are the people that we want to make happy, that we want to do things for, that we want to do good things for. Helping other people is a bonus. And it's a great bonus. I love helping other people. I love helping other people understand who they are and understand what they want and how to get it. But the only way you can do that is to improve yourself. You have to start with the mirror. And convincing yourself you can, and convincing yourself you can do anything, is a good thing. and like I said, it's not, it's one of those processes that you have to just kind of go, okay. And you have to intentionally program your brain. I'm going to go back to computers again because that's how I see my brain. I see it as a computer. My conscious is being, the screen, and what I'm inputting into the computer, my subconscious. It has to be concise. It has to be done intentionally, or you're going to end up messing up the program. And that is what really helps move people forward in accomplishing any goal. So what I had to do, so let's get back to what I had to do. So time's getting late. Sorry about that. So what I had to do when I first started doing this process, I'd have to go to a park and this is no joke, 4:00 in the morning, roll up the windows in my car, turn off all the sound so that I couldn't hear anything. But at the time I was living in Las Vegas, so, it's hard to get away from shiny lights. It's hard to get away from noise. And when you do get away from noise, you usually have the airport nearby. So you had that noise. So one of the best things I found was literally just going to an empty parking lot early in the morning, at least for me, and parking, rolling up my windows and closing my eyes, and intentionally tell myself I'm emptying my mind of clutter. And then whatever I needed to focus on for the day, whether it was work or whether I wanted to focus on accomplishing a specific goal, I would start with thinking with that goal, and I would just close my mind or my eyes, and I would just sit back, and I'd set my timer for 15 minutes so that I knew that the 15 minutes was up, and I would just sit there. And I'd breathe in really deep and out really slow, because that slows the heart down, that slows the process down, that allows your brain time to relax. Because a lot of people say, man, my brain's always working. When that happens, we need to figure out a way to make it relax. That's what I had to do for me. So it allowed my brain to relax, and then I could focus on what I wanted to accomplish. And because I learned how to be still, I learned I could. And I know it seems like a very simple task, but believe me, it's hard to get to the point where you're like, oh, where do I go to get quiet? Now I've learned how to kind of close my mind off, even with noise going on. But that took a lot of time, because it was really hard to do. I don't advise learning how to do it that way. My advice is to find a corner of the house and shut the lights off. Light can be distracting. You don't want anything to distract your mind from what you needed to focus on. And that, at least for me, is what helped me move myself forward. And as long as we're pushing forward even a little bit every day, you would be surprised. You're going to need a telescope to look back on who you were a year ago. I do want to thank everybody for joining us. I know I normally have a normal close, but I just want to say that I'm not going to be here for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Sid will be doing this because I am moving, so I've got to be doing all of that. So if if ever, please tune in. I'm not 100% sure what his show is going to be next week. He told me it was going to be a surprise. So I know that it'll be good. Sid has a lot of good information. He's a great guy, and he will help you accomplish your dreams. Now, I know we've said in the past to, please go to our website, sj-mentoring.com, sj-mentoring.com. Fill out the form for a free discovery session, which is a value of about $250. And this allows us to have a discussion to learn about your unique situation so that we can help you accomplish your goals. That's what we do. Please like, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm, obviously. It helps us get into other countries. It helps us, get to other people. If you like the content, please do that. We appreciate it. I look forward to speaking to everybody here in the next few weeks. I know that I've got this move going on, so hopefully you'll be seeing a different background. As you can tell, my shelf is a little on the empty side. So it's because we're packing to move, and we're looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to talking to you from my new home here in the next few weeks, and I just want to say thank you for listening, and we really appreciate you. Have a great day.
Did you know your clothing could help balance your body's pH levels? Our cutting-edge fabric technology naturally promotes optimal pH balance, helping you feel energized, refreshed, and at your best every day. Use promo code PRTalk for more info. Tap the link in the description or contact our experts at 702-445-9488 to learn more.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.